Here's something from Billy Graham's website, though. So supposedly he said that he believed that the Bible was the infallible Word of God after being saved for several years. But this is from Billy Graham's own website. And before you say, well, Billy Graham probably didn't write this, he wasn't on the internet or whatever. Well, it's under his ministry webpage, okay? And Billy Graham liked the NIV. He liked all different kinds of Bible versions, okay? He was King James only when it was the main book that was used, but when all the new modern versions came out, then he switched and just used whichever one he wanted. So this is from Billy Graham's own website. It says, "Is the King James Bible the only reliable Bible?" It says, "The work of the Bible translation is very complicated, and misunderstandings easily arise. We do not have the original Hebrew, Aramaic Old Testament, or the original Greek New Testament as written by inspired men of God. What we have is an Old Testament in Hebrew, Aramaic, and thousands of Greek manuscripts of part or all of the New Testament painstakingly copied and passed on to us through the centuries. There are differences in the Greek manuscripts, such as minor issues of punctuation, spelling, word order, certain verses including in some manuscripts and not in others, etc. But none of these differences affect any of the major doctrines of our Christian faith." What a load of bull, right? Some people prefer the King James translation because they have been familiar with it, often from childhood. Others prefer modern translations because they are more easily understood. Also, modern translators have the advantage of using many older Greek manuscripts of the New Testament discovered since the King James translation was made. Most scholars consider these older manuscripts more reliable than the few later manuscripts available to those who translated the King James Bible. You see how they're just lying? They're just lying and trying to make it seem like the older manuscripts supposedly are better than the ones that they used on the King James. So basically what they're doing is they're just crumpling up the King James and throwing it in the trash can. So here it goes on to say this: "It is also helpful to remember that while King James authorized a particular translation for the Church of England in the 17th century, it is no more authoritative for us today than any other translation. It was highly criticized in its day for those who preferred earlier translations, and it went through a number of revisions. The King James Version most widely used today is the 1769 version." Okay, so when they revised the King James, though, they really did just change the font type.